Every time you chew gum, use a syringe, paddle a kayak, or take aspirin for a headache, you're using technology invented by Native Americans, but somehow they never mention that in history class, do they? Ready to find out how many things in your daily life only exist because of indigenous innovation that colonizers took credit for? Syringes were invented by the Haudenosaunee using hollow bird bones and animal bladders to administer medicine with precision centuries before Europeans had anything similar. Modern hypodermic needles are just refined versions of indigenous medical technology. Baby bottles and formula feeding methods came from the Haudenosaunee and other eastern nations who created specialized feeding vessels for infants and understood nutrition science that Europeans wouldn't figure out for hundreds of years. Kayaks are an Inuit invention perfectly engineered for Arctic waters. The design is so flawless that modern kayaks are basically identical to boats indigenous peoples were building 4,000 years ago, and Navy SEALs still use the same principles. Suspension bridges were invented by the Inca Maya and Inca, who built rope bridges across massive canyons using engineering principles that Europeans didn't understand until the 1800s. Some of those ancient bridges are still standing and still used today. Anesthesia came from indigenous knowledge of coca leaves, datura, and other plants that could numb pain during surgery. Inca surgeons were performing successful brain surgeries with plant-based anesthetics while Europeans were still using alcohol and hoping patients would pass out. Mouthwash and dental hygiene practices came from multiple indigenous nations who used specific plant extracts to prevent tooth decay and gum disease. Meanwhile, Europeans in the 1700s had rotting teeth and thought bathing was dangerous. Snow goggles were invented by Inuit peoples who carved ivory or wood with tiny slits to prevent snow blindness, the exact same principle used in modern glacier glasses and even some surgical eye protection. Rubber waterproofing was developed by Mesoamerican peoples who harvested latex from trees and created waterproof clothing, boots, and containers. Over 3,000 years ago, Charles Goodyear gets credit for inventing vulcanized rubber in 1839, but he just modified a process indigenous people had perfected millennia earlier. Raised bed agriculture, which is now considered cutting-edge sustainable farming, was invented by indigenous peoples across the Americas who understood soil management, water conservation, and crop rotation at levels modern agronomists are still trying to replicate. The concept of trial and error medicine that forms the basis of modern pharmacology came from